Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly do a first impressions video of Dead Island 2. I've been playing this game off camera for about 4 or 5 hours now. Epic won't give me a playtime unless I actually exit the game. Stupid. Anyway, Dead Island 2. So far, it's not bad. I'll show you around a bit and just quickly tell you what I think. Again, more first impressions than actual review. For those of you that want to see the options menu, we'll blow through that real quick. You can rebind your keys, which is great. You can adjust sensitivities. There's a lot of sliders here, so that's great. For a $60 game, you kind of expect that. What I don't like is that there are like multiple editions on Epic, so you can get the gold edition, which includes this, this, and this, and this. So it's just kind of silly that games like I'm tired of that being a trend. I'm really sick of it. I wish these games would just come with everything. Now you have to pay an extra $10 for a stupid sword or whatever. It just money. It's all about the stupid money. Anyway, online you can do single player, public, invite only friends. I only got a single press key, so I was unable to try co-op with anybody that I know. So. Display stuff, screen resolution, VSync, frame rate, motion blur, all that good stuff. And there's even advanced settings. So just pause if you want to see any of this in greater detail. For the most part, I mean, it's a $60 game by default. You'd really think that this would be in here, and it is. UI stuff, again, you can turn a lot of things on or off as you see fit. There's going to be various markers and pop-ups, radio messages. The game is just asking you, what do you want to see? So, stamina bars, health bars, all that. So you can adjust these things as you see fit. Audio sliders here, fine. Audio sliders are sliders. There's also a streamer mode for people that like to stream. There's copyrighted music in this game. Alexa game control is weird. You can enable voice commands like, hey you, or whatever, and that'll actually attract the zombie, but I'm going to assume that as a streamer, whatever, you may not want to turn that on, especially if you're trying to be all sneaky-like. There is a tap to talk, so maybe I might want to look into something like that. So yeah, there is a toggle, rather than it being like an always online thing, but anyway. There's stats, tutorials, different things like that. Now, before we actually get into the gameplay, I want to quickly show you what's in the player menu. The map is broken up into a couple of different things. You are, like, this is your main map, okay? Like, you start off in, I think it was Bel Air up here, and as you can see, there's all these different locations to unlock, and inside each one is, like, as you can see, there's this hotel that I'm currently in. I think it's, yeah, the Helper Inn Hotel, and I believe am somewhere. I believe that's either my quest or me, I can't tell. But anyway, so, yeah, there's little question marks that might indicate some point of interest that you might want to discover, but for the most part, like, I gotta say, progression feels very linear. In previous Dead Island titles, it was very, I don't know, like open worldish, where I could, if I want to go here and do this quest, I can. If I want to go over here and do this quest, I can. Then I'll go back home, then go back out, do this quest, and I was passing the same building 600 times. Here, I have not gone back home once. I have not gone back home once. There is a storage locker every now and again you might find. It's like the Resident Evil storage box where it just sort of carries with you. It's always available no matter what you put in it. So there is storage lockers that you'll find in the environment. Crafting tables. But getting back to this. So my chief complaint with the map is it doesn't feel as open world as the previous titles. It feels more linear. Inventory, it's an inventory system. The top 8 is what you can cycle through, and if you want to access these, you have to put like these up here. Okay, now I can cycle through that, but these are like extra backups that I have carried with me. Curveballs are like, they recharge over time, but you can always use them. There's no like, I only have 3 shurikens, or I only have 3 of these, or 2 of these. No, you can use them as much as you want, but it takes time to recharge over time. There are consumables like first aid kits, various parts that you'll pick up for crafting, and various keys and other things that you might pick up along the way. So quests, again, I haven't really found a whole lot of side quests. I did a total, I think, of 1 or 2 side quests in the 4 or 5 hours that I've been playing this. I'm level 6 right now. In the original Dead Island game, I felt like I did a whole lot more on the side than I did here, at least up to this point. Again, I haven't played the entire game, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like I'm on a straight shot rather than an open world kind of thing, and it's kind of a, yeah, 1. the death of the party. That's one side quest that popped up that I took care of. And that was apparently it. But all of these are story quests up to this point. And that's, again, 4 or 5 hours in. Skills. Okay, so cards. You find these cards along the way and you can equip them. I personally am not a fan of this. Okay, bring back the talent trees. In the original Dead Island game, and maybe even in Riptide, you had 3 skill trees depending on the character that you picked, and you could customize by spending skill points. If you've played, like, World of Warcraft, you'll be familiar, or at least old school World of Warcraft, that is, where you're putting, 5 points over here and 10 points over here. Here, it's gone. There's no talent tree. That is the biggest disappointment for me, because I love spending skill points in talent trees. Like, if Path of Exile weren't so darn grindy and complicated, and if it didn't need an Excel spreadsheet to math out what I need, I'd play that a lot more often, because I love skill trees. I love that stuff. Here you unlock cards and then you slot them into 4 different areas: abilities, survivor, slayer, and Newman. So like this one is shut 'em down. A well-timed block triggers a forceful explosion that drains the stability of nearby zombies. So as you're unlocking these things, you can only equip so many of them. So like, I have 5 cool abilities, but I can only put 2 in here. I don't like that. My talent tree skills from the previous Dead Island games were always there. So I don't know. I don't like that at all. I'm really disappointed with the skills. Challenges are just like things that you can complete. Challenges, achievements. You get some rewards like money and the like, which is nice, but I typically let that run in the background. And if I get something great, if I don't, I'm not going to worry about it. Collectibles, same deal. Blueprints, Zombopedia, Slayers. There's 6 different characters that you can pick in this game. If you want to see them in detail, go check out my live stream. It was like a let's try kind of thing. I go through all the different characters there and what you can pick. This guy, I don't know. I'll just say this: diversity, and that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But yeah, that's the player menu there, and there is a crafting menu, and you can add mods and different things. So, for example, I can scrap things. I've hit F2 to upgrade. If I had any mods, I do. I've got this uncommon melee impactor mod. So I can make it better. I can add this electrocution mod to it if I want to. And then perks, I could add enhanced. Increases damage but reduces durability. So I can add, electricity or other things to my weapons, just like you could in the other Dead Island games. But you can only do that, I believe, with weapons, with weapons that are green or higher, uncommon or higher. The standard white weapons that you get, you cannot add any of that stuff to. There's also, I believe, a fabricate tab I missed. There we go. You can fabricate things like first aid kits, but apparently there's more stuff that I have to find yet. I'm going to assume there's just more consumables that I can get in the environment. So, like, that's what you do in between, but not a whole lot. Now, my favorite part of this game is the combat. Typically, it's one of the most satisfying... I don't know. It's one of the most satisfying things. It's just really enjoyable. What I don't like, though, is that zombies will reappear in places that you've already cleared out quickly. So I don't know, it feels like here I go, I'm clearing an area, and then once the area's clear, I'm like, okay, now these zombies are going to come at me from this direction, and I look behind me, oh, all of a sudden there are zombies. Like, I go behind this truck, and I come back outside, and boom, there's 4 zombies. I'm like, I just cleared the area. Why did all these new zombies just show up out of nowhere? I literally just cleared the area. And it was just it's like the game is programmed just to spawn these things just to get in the way. I will say, again, combat is extremely satisfying in this game. Ooh, get away from that. My favorite part of the game is just the combat. I mean, it is so satisfying to melee hit anyone with anything in this game. I have not come across any firearms or anything like that. It's all been melee based up to this point. So again, 4 or 5 hours in, no ranged weapons that I know of. You can throw, of course, but there's no like pistol or gun that I've seen.
Quake did this, not whatever the major thing.
All right, finally made my way past that. Anyway, so one final thing that I forgot to mention before I sign off. This game is just a little too over-the-top silly. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. Dead Island 1, Riptide, I mean, it was very difficult to take those games seriously. Some of those characters, you know, in Dead Island 1, you had these drug addicts on the beach that you would help sometimes. Like, it was all over the top. And this game feels over the top, too. I'm not complaining. I'm simply saying I would like a game like this, made better, but serious. State of Decay 2 is an example of a great open-world survival game that isn't as over the top. Yeah, it does some crazy things sometimes, but it felt a bit more realistic and serious. Whereas this just feels like the characters in this game go out of their way to swear every other word, or I don't know, or just be over the top ridiculous. At the same time, though, I mean, it's gory. It's not bad. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, and I do enjoy the ambience in some of these rooms. Like, I'll walk into a room and there'll be just blood everywhere, and that is kind of cool. But at the same time, part of me just wishes for a game that is like this, but not as over the top, if that makes any sense. Yeah. I'll probably continue to play this, but again, I'm a bit disappointed by the lack. My biggest thing, again, talent trees, skill trees. The cards, no. I don't know why they decided to go with cards. I would have been much, much, much happier with, oh boy, yeah, I'm not going to go in there. I would have been so much happier with more talent trees, but instead we got these stupid cards, and you can only choose, 3, 4 at a time, 2 maybe in the early parts of the game. It's just ridiculous. The only reason I would continue playing this is just so I can unlock some really cool weapons and level my character up and see how much butt I can really kick. That's the only reason why I would play this. Without a talent tree or a skill tree, there's no reason for me to really grind for points, as it were. So, and again, the cards, I'm just not feeling that. Here goes. Ugh, okay. Well, I don't want to spoil anything more for you, so I'll just leave you with that. My first impressions are, this doesn't feel like a $60 game. I feel like it's more half, you know what. Like, it's just, I feel like more could have been done here. It doesn't feel as open world. There's no talent trees. And it's just, I don't know. It just, I feel like I got more playing the original Dead Island and Riptide than I did this game. I also don't like the fact that there's no hard save. If you hit return to main menu, it's like you may lose story progress. Well, how do I trigger a save so I don't lose anything? You know what I mean? It's 2023 at this point. Haven't they figured that out? I don't know. So I feel like this is a game that I would recommend when it's on sale for $20-30. Okay? Just, I mean, its saving grace is how well the combat is. The melee combat is extremely satisfying, but I feel like that's the only thing going for it right now, unless the game picks up somewhere down the road. But I'm 3 or 4 hours in. Most people just call it quits after the first hour if they don't like it, so I'm just saying. Maybe they shouldn't hold back if that's really the case. If you guys haven't already subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube, that way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care.